Have you ever wondered why we celebrate the new year the way we do? Why do we count down as if time itself is holding its breath? Why the fireworks, the champagne, and the resolutions? Today we're diving into the captivating history of New Year celebrations, a journey that spans thousands of years, cultures, and traditions. By the end of this video, you might see New Year's Eve as more than just a night of revelry. It's a time capsule, a global ritual, and in some cases, a survival story. Let's see the history of celebrating New Year the way we do. Time, humanity's greatest obsession. Ancient civilizations were the first to recognize patterns in the stars, the sun, and the moon. The concept of a new year wasn't about celebration, it was about survival. Imagine this. You're an ancient farmer relying entirely on the seasons for your livelihood. You need to know when to plant crops and when to harvest. For the Sumerians in Mesopotamia around 4,000 years ago, the new year began in mid-March with the vernal equinox, a time when day and night are equal. But here's the twist. Their celebrations were not what you'd expect. Instead of champagne, there were reenactments of cosmic battles between order and chaos. The Akitu Festival, a 12-day event, symbolized the renewal of life, the reaffirmation of kingship, and, above all, hope for a fruitful year. Fast forward to ancient Rome and things get even more intriguing. Did you know that January 1st wasn't always the start of the year? Originally, the Roman calendar began in March. It was Julius Caesar in 45 BCE who, influenced by the Egyptian solar calendar, reformed it into what we now call the Julian calendar. But why January? The month is named after Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and transitions. Now here's the kicker. The transition wasn't seamless. Many Romans clung to the old ways, celebrating their new year in March. Chaos ensued as different regions of the empire marked the new year at different times. It took centuries for the January 1st date to solidify. You'd think the church would have embraced this date, but not quite. In medieval Europe, the church rejected January 1st, associating it with paganism and excess. Instead, the new year often coincided with religious festivals like Christmas or Easter. Yet, people's desire to mark the turning of the year proved unshakable. Secret feasts and raucous gatherings persisted, blending pagan traditions with Christian rituals. It's a reminder that human celebrations are hard to suppress, even by the most powerful institutions. While the West wrestled with calendars, the East followed entirely different rhythms. The Chinese New Year, celebrated for over 3,000 years, follows the lunar calendar and typically falls between January 21st and February 20th. Its origins are steeped in mythology. Have you heard the tale of Neon, the ferocious beast? Legend says it would attack villages every New Year's Eve. But villagers discovered its weaknesses: loud noises, fire, and the color red. That's why today Chinese New Year is marked with firecrackers, red decorations, and an exuberant spirit. It's not just a celebration, it's a triumph over fear. Meanwhile, in India, New Year celebrations vary across states and religions. For example, Diwali, the Festival of Lights, is considered a new year by many Hindus. It's a time to banish darkness and invite prosperity. On the other hand, the Sikh community celebrates Vaisakhi in April, coinciding with the harvest season and the formation of the Khalsa. Let's take a detour to Ethiopia, where the new year, Enkutatsh, is celebrated in September. Why? Because Ethiopia follows its own ancient calendar, which is about 7 years behind the Gregorian calendar. Enkutatsh coincides with the end of the rainy season and the blooming of flowers, making it a celebration of renewal and beauty. Or how about the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah? Falling in autumn, it's a solemn time of reflection and repentance. Instead of fireworks, there's the haunting sound of the shofar, a ram's horn, meant to awaken the soul. Doesn't that contrast sharply with the way most of us celebrate? And here's an unexpected twist. In Thailand, the Songkran festival, celebrated in April, involves massive water fights. Yes, you heard that right. Water symbolizes purification and renewal, and the entire country transforms into one giant joyous battleground. Now, let's bring it all together. How did the modern New Year's Eve, with its ball drops, parties, and countdowns, come to be? Surprisingly, much of it is tied to technology and globalization. The invention of time zones in the 19th century and the global adoption of the Gregorian calendar created a shared framework for marking midnight. By the early 20th century, urban centers like New York and London began hosting public celebrations. The Times Square ball drop, for example, started in 1907 as a publicity stunt. Today, it's a global tradition. But here's the part that's often overlooked. Beneath the glittering surface, New Year's Eve is a deeply human moment. Whether it's the hope of ancient Sumerians, the triumph over neon in China, or the reflections of Rosh Hashanah, the essence of the celebration remains the same. It's about endings and beginnings. It's about hope, renewal, and the chance to start anew. So, the next time you raise your glass at midnight, think about this. You're not just celebrating another year. You're participating in a ritual that connects you to thousands of years of history and billions of people around the world. From the ancient Sumerians to your next-door neighbor, we all share the same desire: to mark time, to honor the past, and to welcome the future. And as the clock strikes 12, remember, it's not just about what's ahead. It's about the journey that brought us here. Happy New Year! Please like and subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching. Here are 2 more videos that you might be interested to continue watching.